Today I am going to be talking about my life as a fashion designer, and I'll be showing you a couple of things, maybe, possibly, just so that you can get an idea of what I do. So, first off, I think I'm going to go ahead and have me some coffee this early in the morning, and that's another thing. When you're a fashion designer, you can do pretty much anything you want with fabric. So I did this morning make some new pouches for my coffee. So I ground some coffee this morning. Here's my coffee. And I ground it in my little grinder. It's a small one I have. This is a little small one that I have right here. My little small one. Okay. And that's my little coffee grinder. And here is my coffee that it did grind. Look at that. And it smells so like Starbucks in here. Yeah. Okay. So I made my little muslin bag and I put my little coffee in it, and then I take it right over to my stove and I put it in a pot of water, and that's how I do my coffee. So I don't have to spend money buying the filters, buying this and buying that. I can simply make it myself, Okay, so I'm gonna go and pour me some coffee in my little kettle here. And then we'll have some coffee and we'll talk. So give me a moment. That is how I do it. Okay. So here's my coffee and my favorite little mug, matching mug. See, everything inspires me for fashion. So my little cup, I love my tea sets and kettles. So when I find things like this, that just puts me into a designing mood. So I end up doing things that have inspired me by simple things like this, So I'll have that, and let's get some of this inside so that it can be sweet a little bit, and that'll help the day get going. It's just a little sweet creamer. Okay, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I think it is. So I love that, and it's inspiring. So that's what I use it for. Give me a moment to collect myself because it is morning. And of course I had to put on my little outfit because it is the last days. It is the last days of December, and this is actually December the 30th. Tomorrow is the 31st, and we will be moving into January. So, if you don't mind, let me get me a little bit. That's pretty tasty. I like that. So what I do as a fashion designer, I am more of the designer who has the creative part of designing the look, designing the trend, designing, with just the creative part. That's me. There's also pattern making, but as far as pattern making, we're just not very good friends. I know how to do it, but I don't like to spend my time doing it because it does take a lot of time, especially if you're you're going to be doing a pattern that has so many intricate pieces and parts. So I rather not. I like to do the designing. So yes, I did go to school, and I spent 4 years. So stuff like this is what you do. It's not a definite look. It's more of a quick thought that you want to sketch, and get down. So sketching, I love sketching. I can sketch. And this is more something that you can actually see what it is. So I spent a lot of time sketching and coming up with different looks, putting different looks together and stuff like that. And that's some of the things that you do have to do in order to keep your ideas flowing. And I do that. So my morning will look like, of course, this. I'll have my breakfast. I need to have something to drink. Matter of fact, I need to get me a little something to go with my coffee. So I'll have my little oatmeal pie. This is a no-no, for trying to be healthy, but I treat myself at the end of the year. And then I can get back to my usual. I think I'm going to do a line that goes along with, my herbal remedies that I do as well. So I'm going to do a line of clothing that goes along with that. It's going to be like, natural fibers, of course. I don't think I want to do any artificial fibers with that. I think I just want to do all natural fibers, cotton, linen, wool, silk, those natural things. And I'll be designing some basic looks, that are, pretty earthy. Some basic looks for that line. So, and actually another thing that you can do like that. So, you guys excuse me, I'm waking up, having my moment. Just enjoy with me, okay? So, that's what I do. So, I have my little breakfast, and then I look at different fabrics. I have so much fabric, and I have fabric from years ago. I have present fabric. I'm always getting new fabrics because, you have to keep up with things. Now, I've created my little book here that I use when I'm getting ready to do fashion shows. But let me see, this, you'll always find little stuff like this, tucked away that you're working on or that you want to do. You always have to jot down, your sketches, even if they come out to look like my first thing that I showed you. This is a really quick, I have an idea. Scribble, 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 scribble. Just so it's a picture note. It's not words. You can write words on it so you know what it was that you were designing, and then sketch. Put down that's your interpretation of what you saw in your head. So here it is. This is my book that I work from when I am preparing for a show. So what's in it? I have my croquis, which are, just a flat template, the body. So when I get the model, of course, I put the name for the model And then you do all the measurements for that model. So when you go back to your drawing board or your table where you're getting ready to work, you know what you're going to be creating. You know the measurements for what you're thinking about creating for that model. At least that's how I do it. So I have those notes down, and they pretty much end up looking something like this. And see that? Yeah. All the notes and the model's name and stuff like that, because you never know by the time you're done creating, you never know what you will end up creating and the measurement you might need for it. So that is how I do. That's one of the things that I do as a designer. And then I have to, when I have picked out the fabric at the store, sometimes you don't know what it is that you're going to create, so you get inspired from the fabric. You go to the fabric store and you look at the fabrics and it's like, maybe I want to do, look at this. Maybe I should use that. So thinking for me, I think of the model, and I choose my models according to how they inspire my line that I'm going to be doing. So when I'm having auditions, that's another thing. I have auditions, modeling auditions, and when they talk, when they walk, and if they've ever done any runway, and then their personality. So when I'm looking at them, I can tell what design I would like to put on them. And when I'm at the store, the fabric also lets me know that yes, that model will work this look if you do it with this fabric. So, and it's so much fun. It's so much fun going through that process. Now here is a note from, here's my project description from a show that I did in 2019. And this is how I do it, okay? So here is the fabric that I've chosen for the look for this model. One fabric, another fabric. There's 3 pieces, there's 3 swatches here. 1, 2, well, no, there's 4. There's 4 swatches. So, so if you can see that, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. So these are the fabrics that I did use in creating this look. So I did a little quick sketch of the look that's going to be for this model. So, and also I write notes. You can see the note of the intention of the look that I'm doing for this model. Now, for patterns, this is me saving myself time, energy. I always get my pattern and I write it down. You know, your typical patterns that you get from the store. Easiest thing, get you a basic pattern, get your pattern that almost looks like what you think you want to create, or get a pattern that's going to inspire you to create something different. So I use a pattern because I don't want to make a pattern. A lot of times you will make a pattern because you can't find something that comes close to it, but you can always find a basic pattern that, because all patterns have a basic bodice, have a basic skirt, a basic pant. Always use the basic one to build from. So here's my pattern. And then this is the dress. These are the notes. And this right here tells you what, I put down the notes of what the fabrics are. And then of course I title my show day and year and stuff like that. So that's another part that I do as a fashion designer. So, and then this is for on the front, you do your description, and on the next page, I have my model that's going with this look. So as you can see, her measurements, and this is what she's wearing. That's how I do that. And then, let's see, I have her first measurements on that, and then I have another page that gives you the front and the back for that model, because you just need to get as much measurements as possible so that you don't have to keep calling the model in for measurements and stuff like that. So that's how I work. Now you may work different, or you may find a better way that works for you, but that's how I do that. And I keep them all in my little book for the shows. So as you can see, I have a plenty. Let me put this one back in there before I move forward. And I keep these, you know, it's my history. So I keep these. Okay. Yeah. That's the model. This is her predicted item to wear in the fabrics that I'm going to use. This is her front and back measurements. And I do that for each model that I'm going to be using, what they're going to, what the outfit is made out of, the little sketch of what it looks like, and on and on. So that is how I do it. And also, you know, I do contracts. We sign contracts, you know, stuff like that. So that's what I do as a designer. Now, here's another thing that's important to be able to do. Let's see, which way did I go? These are so inspiring. Look at this. Very inspiring, right? If you can see that. So, as you can see, this is my, oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot what the words. But anyway, you have to do your inspirational for your line. For, you know, if you're doing a line that's a collection, I mean. So you want to do something like this for your collection, so you can always have that, you know, your lookbook created. This type of a sketch lookbook. It's very helpful and it's very inspiring. So this is one of the things that I do as a fashion designer. Okay? Maybe you didn't get a good look at that, but here, let's get a good look. Those are the designs, and then you have the colorways, and then you have what the items are. Okay? Very easy. It's fun. It's exciting. And you can, you know, it just makes you able to see where you're going as far as your designing path for that collection. So that is, I'm not getting my coffee. Hold on, guys. Let me get myself organized. Okay. So a little more coffee before it gets too cold. So that is one of the other parts of being a fashion designer. Those are the things that you have to do to keep yourself together, you know, with what you're doing. And let's put that one away. Also, let's see, let me put that one over here. You know what else I use for inspiration? Magazines. Magazines, of course, fashion magazines are so inspirational, so important. especially with keeping on trend. There's nothing wrong with looking in magazines to see what's being put out for people to wear. And the best thing about it is I like when I create a line, a collection. I create a collection and then I go and get the current magazine, and I look to see if I'm on point. Usually I am. I am on point, sometimes ahead of the point. And when the magazine comes out, it's like, whoa, I was right on point. No problem. So any magazine that you like, I love these magazines. This is, what is this one called? It's in French. So, I mean, everything in here can inspire you, from the jewelry to the models to the fashion. It's definitely inspiring, and it gives you, it does give you inspiration mentally, not just, say that, okay, maybe you can design something off of this. Well, no, that's not what I use it for. I use it to keep me in touch, keep me on point, keep me on trend. And sometimes I cry because it's like, wait a minute, I designed this exact look 5 years ago or 3 years ago. That's happened to me quite a bit. And because I'm a fashion designer, and I don't really know how to get myself out that far to be able to reap from, I'm sure there's plenty of us that go through that. You see your design on the runway of a popular designer, and it's like, oh man, they stole my design. They stole my design. But what can you do but keep designing, right? And hopefully it'll hit one of these times. So, but I do get to have an opportunity to get in magazines. I've been in this magazine for about 2 years, I believe now. Yeah. I get to do things. I wish I could show you my very first in this magazine, this Tampa Bay magazine. So it's really inspiring and it's really uplifting when you can get something like this. Newspapers, magazines, TV coverage. It's really inspiring, but too far and few in between can make you feel like, okay, I'm not on point. I'm being left out. I'm not doing enough. So you want to keep going. So this is March and April of 2024. If you can see that on the spine. And here is mine. That's me. I mean, that's not me, but that's my model. And that is my design. It's beautiful. And it's from my Baroque Romance collection. See, here is my, they've written up for me. See, here's my name brand right there. Let's see if we can get you to see that. Yeah. There it is. So these things, isn't the model beautiful? Look at her. She's beautiful. So opportunities like this, they do inspire you to keep going, to keep pushing, to keep going for that golden ring, you know. It inspires you. And that's one of the things that keep me going. So for this upcoming year, 2025, I want to try and push myself more to be seen as a designer that, you know, the designer that I really want to be. I'm more of a haute couture type of designer that I really love, because I can think way out there. And I wouldn't want to say it's wearable art. I would most like to say that it is haute couture, of course. And the audience that I'd like to grab with that, they like to spend money, and I would like for them to spend money on my design. But that's what I'm going to try and push out for 2025, because it's time, okay? It is time, and my coffee is cold. So let me see if I can find it. It's on the same page as usual. I'll get better at this, guys, okay? So, for this one, this is the holiday one, and they usually, on this edition, they want you to put things in the magazine, you know, for customers to, you know, people to buy, to, you know, they want you to sell. So, they give you the opportunity to sell. So a couple of things that go in the magazine is, what do you want to make a sale from? So in this one, I have, without a model, of course, it's this look here. There it is, right there. This is from a fashion event that was done, but this is me here. See that? There I am again. And that is a blouse. That is a skirt. And that's one of the items that, you know, you want your customer, you want someone to purchase your brand. I think I have another thing in here. I'm going to look at it, see. And I did, from being in the magazine, it does produce you a client list. And I've gotten, I would say I've gotten, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Over the years, I've only had like 4 clients from being in this magazine. So it helps, especially because you get to put your item, you know, in front of people, a lot of people, and it gets to spread the name brand. And someone will have in hand your product, your design, your work. So just because I haven't made millions, it does not keep me from keeping this up. So let me see if I can find where the gifts are, because it's a gifts page that they put out for people to get stuff for Christmas, you know, from the artists that are in the magazine. Let me see. Okay, let's see what my sorry guys, I usually fold the page, but I didn't fold it this time. If I can find my okay, and it's been fun. I would love to get into other magazines as well, but you really have to know a who's who, or you can write and ask. You know, how I got into this one is that way. I wrote the magazine and asked them how, and they let me know. Okay, holiday gift guide. That is page 50. So let's go to page 50 and let's see if I can grab my other item that I was able to put in the magazine. Okay, so here we are. Let's find our other item because I know it's in here. Yeah, here we go. Here is my other item. This is my kitten that I've made. And this little guy went all the way to Mississippi. The person called me from Mississippi and said, I want to have that. I've got to have one. So I boxed it and put the address on it, mailed it out. She paid for it over the phone and she got it. And these guys I've made and I've sold. I don't know if you can see them well. Yeah, they sparkle. I've sold, when I used to be, I was able to get into a mall here in Florida. It was called it still is West Shore Plaza Mall. And I was able to get into a store of like designers. And I made, I don't know how many of those cats. I made quite a bit of them. And soon as I was able to put them in the store, they sold like that. And I sell two sizes. The large size is for $60 and the smaller one is $45. I sold both. Yes, I still have some, but I was surprised and I was overjoyed and I was ecstatic about the fact that somebody thought that this was beautiful and my work was worth the price. So, as a fashion designer, you also get the opportunity, if you want to design things like toys. And so that is another thing that I've done. And I'm happy about it. So, we've talked about that. And what else can I tell you? But, you know, and the main thing that you're going to be doing is you're going to be spending a lot of time on your sewing machine, especially if you don't have, you know, a manufacturer to make your things. And I don't have a manufacturer to make my items. I am the manufacturer. So when I create a design, when I draw it out, have an idea, put it on paper. Sometimes I don't put it on paper. I go straight to my mannequin and I am draping, or I lay out a pattern and I cut it and I put it on the mannequin, and then from there I take it to a whole new look. You're going to spend a lot of time doing stuff like that. And you're going to spend a lot of time on your sewing machine to create your sample pieces. Now, sample pieces, I like to do my sample pieces to where they are sellable. When it's showtime on the runway, sometimes you have time to make your sample runway pieces sellable. A lot of times when you're coming down to the last minutes, and that's usually me, just like they do, you know, on you know, Fashion Week. If you've ever looked at some of the behind the scenes stories, not all of the designers are ready. Some of them you're still putting a look together day of because, you know, something went wrong, or you know, the design is a little bit more intricate than you had time for, and you're doing it behind the scenes, you know, 5 minutes before the thing is walking out on the runway. Now, I've never done it that way. I've been, let's see, I've been like maybe 5 hours away from showtime that I was still putting a look together. I don't ever want to do that again, seriously, because that's too much. That's just too much, okay? And the thing is, I'm the one who is doing the work for the show, putting the show together, getting the models called. You know, you have a few people that can assist you. And you really need that. You really need a team. And I've slowed down on doing them because I didn't have a team that can assist me year after year. Hold on, guys.